5 o'clock. If there are no objections, we will approve the minutes from last week's meeting. Okay. Are there any students here on behalf of Open Forum? No? Okay. We will move into presenters. Up first we have Chief John Murgy. He is the interim chief of police. So if there are no objections, I will suspend the rules for 10 minutes to allow him to present. Okay.
I could just use 5, really. It's just that, you know, Captain Bentley and I came in last year. It's a brand new year, fall. I just really, if you had questions of me, if it takes too long, then we'll set up another meeting or something. You can come over and visit with me individually, or go through the exec staff to get your questions answered. But like I said, I saw her Sheila at the, well, multiple times this year. But I just really, if I don't know there's some issue personally, I cannot work on it. So I'm really just, you know, y'all are one piece of the campus. So, you know, if there's something that's on your minds, let me know. I will work on it, try and fix it, make it better, make it safer. And that's just me. So, does anybody have a question they'd like to ask? Surely there's some. But I did appreciate being invited to the banquet. I sat around and visited with some of my table mates, and then wandered around and visited. So, like I said, I'm usually a talker and a mover, so with my hands. So, but you know, if you see me out on campus, don't hesitate to stop if something comes up. My email is Murgy, MERGUIE @uca.edu. If you know something pops in your head tonight at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning when you're studying or something like that, shoot me an email and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay. You know, new fall, new busy year, big game over the weekend. Big game. A lot of people here. It's a great crowd. Lots of parents. I got to visit with a few over the weekend. So, like I said, if you have concerns, let me or somebody on the department know, and we'll get them addressed as quick as possible. Anything with you guys? No? Okay.
I appreciate all you do.
I'll cut it so y'all can get out of here.
Thank you so much for coming. Okay. Up next we have Dr. Tammy Rogers. She is the chair of the Strategic Planning Committee. So if there are no objections, I will suspend the rules for 10 minutes to allow her to present.
Actually put some slides together because every year I'm supposed to come and do a report on what's going on with strategic planning and the SPARK annual report. And so this is just the update time. We didn't actually do this last year because we were in a transition period. So had a year off. So let's just jump right into this. Just so you understand, SPARK at the university level, SPARK is responsible for the strategic planning function of the university. So what we do is, as things are going on across campus, we interact with all the different units on campus. So faculty, staff, students, all of the different divisions are represented within the SPARK group. And SPARK has 2 component pieces. There's the Strategic Budget Advisory Committee, which makes recommendations to the president on new budget initiatives that come forward and come up from the various units on campus. And then there's the Strategic Planning Committee, which makes recommendations with regards to strategic plan itself. So we'll skip on to the next one. The SPC charge, we collaborate, both SBAC and SPC. We make recommendations concerning implementation of strategic plan, conduct studies and make inquiries. So occasionally we'll send out surveys and things as a group, and we present concerns and recommendations. You guys have 4 representatives on the strategic planning committee. Sheila gets to see me about 3 times a month because of her role. But if you have concerns, feed them up through your representatives to that committee, please. The next slide has the SBAC charge. And basically they review the university budget, and make recommendations for new budget expenditures, things that will be added to the budget for next year, for example, that how that ties into the strategic plan of the institution as a whole. So on SBAC, last year was the first year that you may have 4 representatives on SBAC. 3 of them are voting, and then there's 1 non-voting member. And so this year we will be doing our budgeting process again. We put that on hold last year as well. Let's get to the next slide. I'll talk about that. The 2016-17 was a year of transition for this committee. The Board of Trustees adopted the new strategic plan on May 2016. So during 15-16, there was a strategic planning task force. Both the SGA president and vice president at that time served on that committee. We had other student representation as well. We did a lot of forums. We talked to students about what are things you're seeing on campus, what are things we need to be paying attention to as a university. Also last year, we had a new president, as we all know. So Dr. Davis joined us, I guess it was February when he came in. And so since both of these committees report up to the president, we wanted to have a little bit of time for him to get on the ground here on campus and find out, you know, what did he want these committees to do? They were advisory committees to the president. And so that kind of put some things on hold. Plus, we also put the Strategic Budget Advisory Committee process for new recommendations coming in on hold as well for the year, so that we had time to kind of revamp and revisit how we were doing some things. And so a lot of last year, we'll skip to the next one, was spent on reviewing the procedures of the committees, making small changes to the charges of both committees because the charges themselves reference the old strategic plan, so specific reference to the 2010-2011 strategic plan. Well, we're not operating under that plan anymore. So we made things a little more generic, so as we update and change the strategic plan in the future, hopefully we don't have to go back and revisit the charges. The SBAC proposal process, while some things are very similar this year, some things do look very different there. We're actually going to go through 2 rounds of hearings this year. The fall, and what will be happening actually starting this month is the time that we're going to ask the different divisions on campus represented by the university exec staff, so the vice president level. We have 7 different divisions on campus that will be putting forward recommendations for additions to next year's budget. Additions to the budget are things like if we want a new faculty member on campus, if we want to add a new staff member, if we want to add a new advisor somewhere. Those type of requests will be coming up. There will also be things dealing with if we need to have ongoing expenditures for new software licenses, since we're going to renew the license every year. Might be another example of something that would be added to the university's base budget. So the fall is the time we're going to look at the base budget. Those proposals are actually due. Originally I told them Thursday. I'm actually giving them an extension to Monday because I can still have things open and available for the committee on Tuesday. So the committee members, the SBAC committee members, for SGA will have access to those starting on Tuesday. We'll review those proposals. We'll have about 2 weeks to review. And then on, it's the 24th or the 26th, whichever Tuesday, I guess the 24th is Tuesday. So on October 24th, each of the VPs on exec staff will come in and actually do a verbal presentation of their proposals. We'll sit and listen, we'll ask questions, and then in November, we'll actually start prioritizing those to make recommendations to the president that this is what we feel is most important. These are the things that, while they'd be nice, aren't critical to university operations and moving strategic planning forward. So that's kind of what's going on there. The other thing that we did this past year, since we weren't going through that hearing process, is we did make recommendations for prioritization of initiatives to be implemented from the strategic planning task force report. So the initial recommendations for the new plan, there was a budget of about $600,000 allocated for that. Some of that did get frozen during the spending freeze last year for budgetary reasons. But I'm going to talk about a few of those items and things that are going on right now, but there will be some additional things happening this year. So if you're not familiar with the university's strategic plan, basically the strategic plan as it exists now has 4 primary goals. Goal number 1, in a nutshell, is student success. We want to put all the mechanisms in place for students to have a successful experience while they're here at UCA. Goal lot of what we'll be looking at there is retention and graduation rates, but we're also going to be looking at putting the infrastructure in place to make the student experience better as a whole. The second goal has to deal with once you leave the institution. We want students to be prepared for whatever the next step is, whether that's getting the next job, their next career, or going on to graduate school, or whatever that may turn into. Goal 3 is, if we go to the next one, is dealing with how we add and evaluate new things at the institution. So for example, we're adding a computer engineering degree. And so we're talking about how are we going to evaluate proposals for new degree programs as they come forward, but also other new initiatives that will happen across campus. And goal 4 deals with effectively implementing the plan. During the first year of implementation last year, the SBAC committee strongly recommended that we focus on things primarily dealing with goal 1. So there's a lot of initiatives dealing with goal 1, not so much on goal 2, 3, or 4. But just to give you a sample of some of these initiatives, the full SPARK report is available and has lots more detail and numbers on it. But I thought I would give you an example of the types of data we have there. We implemented a success coaching program. The success coaching program is designed to assist students who are on academic probation or that may just be having academic issues and problems struggling with their classes. So of that program last year, you can see they had 389 coaching sessions in the fall and an additional 554 individual coaching sessions held by the student success coaches last year for students who were in academic difficulties. Some other programs that I didn't put in here as much detail because I didn't want to take super long. We've been involved in a college transition collaborative program now for the 4th year. It's a research project that's going on, coming up with interventions to help students in that adjustment into college. I think all of you know that first year you're on campus, things are a little bit different. And so they're looking at things to make it easier for students to be successful in that first year, because we know if they're successful in the first year, there's a huge chance for them to continue. We've added supplemental instruction for high fail, high attrition classes. So the classes that people fail or drop at a very high rate, they've now got peer tutors who have already successfully completed the class that sit through the class and then hold study sessions for those. That's available for students. There's actually been a peer tutor added just strictly within philosophy and religion this past year. That was one initiative that happened out of some funding that was made available to the colleges. Then that funding was frozen when we had the spending freeze. It's coming back to the colleges. It'll be $7,000 coming in this year. More SOAR sessions. There was a new book scholarship program for Pell eligible students. Project X is a diversity related program. Guided pathways are supposed to help with advising long term. The goal 2, we added a career coach. We had 3,693 student contacts to help them be better prepared for careers. Next one. Goal 4, the new SBAC process that I spoke about as well. And you can see the representatives there. So that's my last slide.
Perfect timing. Are there any questions for Dr. Rogers?
Did you say there have been peer people added to classes that are frequently dropped?
Yes, that's part of the supplemental instruction program. We've been piloting it primarily in some psychology. There's a few liberal arts or history, world history in particular, and American history. And they're adding additional sections across the sciences right now this year. The main problem we've had there is that if participation is not mandatory, not enough students are taking advantage of it. There are some programs on campus designed for support, but we're not getting word out efficiently to students. And so we may need to sit down and talk with some of you guys at some point to get some ideas on how to get students more engaged in that.
Are there any other questions for Dr. Rogers?
You said we could.
Please.
You said we could propose any programs, or how would that work if we want to propose a degree for UCA?
The degree proposal process actually comes up through the academic department. So they have to put together a proposal for a degree program to be added. And then it works up through a series of committees. If it's a full new degree program, it also has to eventually be approved by the Arkansas Department of Higher Ed. I give you give you a whole lot more detail, but that's probably not what you want. So usually it starts with an academic department that has an interest in supporting that and pushing the program up.
Are there any other questions for Dr. Rogers? Thank you so much. Okay. We will go straight into report. Thank you so much to Senator Stock, Burton, Teeter, Barklow, and Robinson for attending the IT review committee. I heard some very good feedback from that, so thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to attend that event and to voice those concerns. We should be getting the report soon, so as soon as I have it, I will share it with you guys so that you guys can look over it. And then also, thank you so much to Senator Burton and Audris for coming to the civility training. Thank you guys so much again for being there and taking the time out of your day for that. And then the last thing on that, if you sign up for an event, please make sure that you're remembering to go. So just a little quick tip from there. Okay, next point. So campus talk, this is something that President Davis, the staff senate president Erica Rubel, the faculty senate president Dr. Tane Duncan, and myself, we do these campus talks, and it's just an opportunity where we update students, faculty, staff, anyone who attends on what's going on in our respective senates. And so the first campus talk for the year is going to be tomorrow during X period. It's in the College of Business auditorium. So if you guys can attend, then just come and just see what it's all about. You'll get to hear some cool stuff from President Davis as well as Erica and Dr. Duncan. And they're also recorded, and so it'll go on the UCA YouTube channel as well, so you can view it if you're not able to go. Next point, we are going to be starting a national search process for a new provost. So right now, Dr. Hargis is currently the interim provost, so we're going to be starting that search process. Senator Burton and I will be serving on that committee, and so we are just now getting started. It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a big time commitment, but we're excited to be a part of this and to have a student voice on that committee as well. And so I'll update you guys more on that. Our first meeting is going to be next week, so more updates to come with that. And I forgot to make it a point in here, but the Board of Trustees meeting will be this Friday at 10 a.m. in the Board of Trustees room. It's going to be in Wingo Hall. So whenever you walk into the front door of Wingo, you'll see stairs that like lead down, and that's where the boardroom is. So if you're able to come and just sit in, and you'll get to hear some of the, again, different updates going on around campus, and then the board will be voting on a few action items. And so if you do come, the attire is either like business casual or wear your polo and name tag. So that is all I have. Are there any questions for me? No? Okay. Well, oh, sorry, Senator Gilbreth.
Is the College of Business thing on Thursday or Tuesday?
Tuesday, tomorrow.
Okay.
Any other questions? No? Okay. So I am going to be Vice President Reagan's today. Ooh. Okay. So demerits are up to date and they are in everyone's boxes. So please make sure that you're checking your box so that you don't miss the appeals deadline. The deadline is marked on the notice in bold. And for the appeal form, I think what we have found is if you're not a part of the SGA portal, then you can't see it under your forms. And so if you have any troubles with that, just make sure that you're in, that you request to join our portal. And if you still have problems, just email Vice President Reagan about that. The Student Life Committee met last week after the administration dinner and approved 5 new RSO constitutions. Thank you to the committee for being available to meet at this awkward time. So the 5 new RSOs that they approved were Bear Patrol, Drum and Dance Club, LEAD, Pulse Campus Society, and Society of Students Seeking Career in Nonprofit Organizations. So yay, more RSOs, so exciting. Okay, and the last thing, the Rules and Ethics Committee met today before Senate, and if you appealed demerits, you should get a response via OrgSync by tomorrow morning. So if you appealed your demerit, be sure that you're checking your OrgSync messages. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to email Vice President Riggins. Okay, that's it. Vice President,
Okay, just bear with me for 1 minute. Okay, so my first point is that the PR committee met today, and we will be meeting every Monday at 4 o'clock in one of the student center rooms. We're looking to get one cemented in with the student life office, but today we met in 207E and we made a mission and a vision statement. So our mission statement is to act as a communication liaison between the students of UCA and the Student Government Association, and our vision is to keep students informed on progress and improvements within SGA through social media and other communication platforms. So we also spent our time to make some really great goals, and I'm really excited about all of them, and so is the rest of our committee. But we have some really amazing goals. The first one is to host a PR event, just something where we can kind of get our faces out there on campus and just host something really fun for the students. Other ideas we had were to use traditional forms of communication, such as the Echo more than we already do, and then the Bear Talks on the Bear radio station. Those are just a few small goals that we have, but really exciting. The first senators on our committee to be in charge of the social media, Senator Lockings will be in charge of our Instagram, Senator Teeter will be in charge of the Twitter, and Senator Sebastian will be in charge of the Facebook. So if you have anything that you'd like to see posted on there, you can contact anyone on the committee, and we'll be working together to get that done. So my next point is meet the exec staff. So first, already mentioned once today. It'll come up soon, I swear. 1 moment, please.
it's fine.
Oh.
You have to track it.
Okay, yes, so sorry. Okay, this is Dr. Michael Hargis. He is the interim provost and executive vice president. Everybody seen him? So sorry. Yes, he's also the acting dean of the College Business Dean. All right, and then next we have Dr. Jonathan Glenn, and one day I'll figure out the best way to do this. And he is the associate provost for the academic services. So good that we get him. Okay, and then last we have Dr. Kurt Bonecki. There he is. And he is the Associate Provost for Institutional Support. So with the new search committee popping up to find our new provost, I thought it would be really great just to familiarize ourselves with who all is in the provost office. So this is who you can find there. And then I don't know about all of you, but I serve on 2 different university committees with 2 different, 2 of these people out of the provost office. So it's really nice to kind of get an idea of who you're looking at. Okay, so my next point is Senator Fun Fact. So this senator is not vegetarian, but only had their first hamburger 3 months ago. Any questions? Or actually, any guesses?
Raise your hand, please. We need to call Senator Griffin.
Not Senator Barnes.
Senator Barnes.
Senator Audras?
Senator Massey.
Senator Redding?
Yes, it is.
Oh. Yes.
How was that experience for you?
It was good. I like hamburgers. It was dope.
Good to know.
Continue to eat hamburgers.
Okay, so last but not least, we will be starting Senator of the Week. So throughout the week, you can come to the SGA office and pick up a nomination form. And traditionally, they will be in your spots, but they are not there today. But you have the opportunity to nominate someone to be the Senator of the Week, and then those nominations are voted on by the PR committee and then announced during my report. So our very first Senator of the Week was voted and voted on by the executive board and the advisors. And so this is kind of our first impressions Senator of the Week. The senator was described as always being so prepared and professional, not only showing up but showing out at different events such as the civility training and the IT review. And this senator is a perfect example of a hardworking senator. So Senator Burton, you are
Are there any questions for Vice President McAfee? Okay, Vice President Fox.
yeah.
I'm gonna hold off for Meg. I'm gonna give a quick budget report. Great. Okay, can y'all see those decently enough? Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna work from the top down. So real quick, the general ledger, while that's not, if you're in any accounting class, it's not actually a general ledger. It's simply the composite amount of all the monies in each account. So the total amount of money that SGA currently oversees is $457,000. Which is great because, again, student money as well as other money that's supposed to be used for the students and by the students. So that's all money that we've got to work hard to make sure we're filtering through and using wisely. So to break it down, we've got general operations as our first account. We've just recently done our base allocations towards the accounts based off of our Constitution. So we took the $155,000 that we received through the student activity fee, and then we allocated based off of these percentages. So the general operations account is $12,500. Readership, and again, that goes towards supplying the newspapers on campus, whether you're in the college business, in the student center, etc. You can pick those up, and we actually fund those directly. The reserve account is sitting at $243,000. This is great because, again, this is kind of a catch-all. So this is our, if we see a project and we want to go after it, or if maybe we get hit with something that we've got to back up funding for. That's kind of what our reserve account is for. Next is SAFA. I hope all of you are familiar with that, what that's for. Emergency SAFA, that's at $12,500. We actually just recently approved through the Finance Committee an allocation from that account towards an organization. So we'll actually begin to see some of these go down. But then these next two are actually foundation accounts. So these function differently than the other accounts in that they are not directly funded by the student activity fee. So the advised fund is an account in, again, through the foundation as well as projects. That's typically it's a culmination of money that's come from either donations or a lot of times the chair of the board of trustees, as they roll off, they have money that they can use to spend in different areas of campus, and sometimes SGA is one of those areas. And so just this last year, the chairwoman of the board, Sheila Vaught, gave SGA $20,000 to use on projects for improvements on campus. So that's kind of where those monies come from. So those are both sitting at 8 and 55 respectively. My next item is Bare Boots report. So for those who, did anybody sign up to go on this trip, the Bare Boots trip to the mall? Fantastic, great. Can we get a round of applause? So that we anticipated the committee filling one bus, and that was going to be 56 students. And that would take students over fall break down to Houston to help in aiding, I believe it's mudding out specifically, so taking out some nasty drywall and putting new stuff back in. But they're essentially giving up their fall break so that they can go help down in Houston for this purpose. And so Bare Boots is essentially almost a university committee. I don't know if it has a specific title other than we call it Bare Boots on the Ground. And it's a disaster relief response team. And so we'll have 2 senators down there. But they've actually closed signups. So signups were supposed to close the 6th. They've actually maxed out the number of people that they can bring, which is fantastic given the short notice. So they'll be able to bring 120 students down to Houston to go help with and aid with the disaster down there. So that's fantastic, and I applaud you too for signing up. Next, I want to speak directly to the committees that I guess I oversee. So emails are going to be my primary way of communicating with y'all. So I really encourage y'all to be checking your emails. Whichever email you put on the application or the contact sheet, whatever that thing's called. That's what I'll be communicating with you through. And so that's where I'm going to get all of the information, updates, meeting times, etc. to y'all. So make sure y'all are checking those. For the SAPA committee, so hearings are this week, in case you didn't know. Those are going to be pretty hot and heavy. I think we've had 54 organizations sign up. And so that's 54 organizations over 3 days that we're going to listen to. It's pretty intense, but it's also pretty exciting. It's a pretty fun time. We get to hear about all of the events that are most likely or hopefully going to happen over the next semester. Finance, again, we meet typically right before SGA meets, and so we discuss things like emergency SAPA. So like I said, we recently approved one of those. We also discussed any financial expenditure that may come through Senate or potentially not come through Senate if it's under $1,000. So that's a little bit what we do. And then SBAC, I've sent y'all an email as well, and we'll be meeting after SAPA gets out because it's a pretty hectic time. And so be on the lookout for more emails from me so that we can kind of get coordinated and get some of these goals nailed down and then tackled. So my last is to kind of give a quick update on the numbers that we're looking at for this semester in regards to activity fee requests. So currently, as you could have seen, there was $100,000 in the SAPA account. Now that's again going towards next semester. So for the fall semester, there were $130 allocated for this semester. So that's going to be events that happen this semester will be taken from that $130,000. So for this next semester, we have $100,000 based off of that. And again, that's give or take depending on how our reserves fall. Typically, we try to pad reserves in case we get maximum payment requests, which rarely happens, but in the event it does, we want to make sure we can back it up. So for the spring 2018 budget requests, we've had 7 Greek life organizations and 54 student life organizations send in a budget request, and then of those we've had, so a total of 61 organizations. Of that, I think we've had 54 sign up for a hearing. So hopefully we'll see some by tomorrow sign up for a hearing. If not, the total amount of money requested from Greek life hits right at $30,000, and the total amount from student life hits at $152,000. So a total of $182,000. So the nice thing is these numbers, based off of the number of requests, decently parallel each other. So of the total 61, 54 student life organizations requesting funding, that's about 89% of the total requests. So of the $182,000, the 152 that came from student life is 83% of the total requests. So they're remarkably similar, which is great because that means that their respective groups are requesting within their means. So that's just kind of a little look, and this $182,000 is actually pretty low, Rose, for semesters in previous years. And so that's great because that means that we can actually fund with a higher priority towards events to make sure that things are actually happening on campus. So kind of like a little look into what we'll be doing.
Are there any questions for Vice President Fab? Okay, we'll go into standing committee reports. Academic Affairs, Senator Edinker Lucero.
The Academic Affairs Committee met for the first time at 7 o'clock last Wednesday morning. Yeah, I apologize to you guys for that one. We have sent out a draft email. All the members of the committee are in communication with their respective college deans. Once those meetings have been held and we've gathered what the academic deans feel is going to be the best direction for their individual college moving forward, we will develop our strategic plan for the year and establish our goals and vision.
Okay. Are there any questions for Senator Edinker Lucero? Okay. Diversity, Senator Martin.
Now we met for the first time last Wednesday at 3 o'clock, so we meet every Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Applications are on OrgSync until Wednesday at 2:30, followed by interviews at 3 o'clock. We're going to have those in room 201 in the Student Center. Our flyers are on social media, so please feel inclined to share those for more representation. Yes. We also made our mission statement, and it says, the UCA SGA Diversity Committee will strive to promote an inclusive and respectful environment where all students, faculty, staff, and visitors feel welcome. We did set all of our goals and events we want to work on for this year, and we split them up like a divide and conquer type thing between all the members on our committee. And our committee page is up and running, so check it out, it's pretty cool. The first event that we are planning this year is like an invitational RSO type of training, and we plan on reaching out to like the presidents and vice presidents of like different diverse organizations so we can start building respectful relationships and start meeting each other to move on throughout the year. And then this Saturday, October 7th from 10 to 2, UCA is having an Amigo Fest, which is a health fair to celebrate Latino culture in the Student Center courtyard. If it rains, it'll be in idle water. And SIA, which is the new Latina sorority on campus, they're working on a project to email local representatives and encourage them to support DACA. So if you all are interested in helping them with that, just tell me so I can send you all the template email they have for that. And lastly, the App State University Committee will be having a meeting on October 9th at 2 o'clock in Wingo. And I kind of need someone to go for it because I have played. Is anybody paid?
When is it?
The App State.
What time?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
What day?
Sorry.
October 9th, Monday.
If you guys, oh, sorry.
Is going to be the child care services, and so our hope with that is for that to be completely like volunteer based from students. So whether that be like students in the education field, like in the College of Education, or just students like who need volunteer hours to work that. Ideally, this is just completely hypothetical. We would like for it to be open daily from 8 to 5, so that students could, or like parents, non-trad parents, could like drop off their children and like be able to come and go through the day, or like from whenever classes start to when they end. So that would be amazing. And he also is able to get the SOS, the new director, her name is Lindsay Osborne, Shirley, and we're going to be in contact with her about hopefully having in August registration orientation day solely designated to non-traditional students, international students, and transfer students. That way we can kind of target those people who are new on our campus
and don't really get acclimated like the freshmen do. So yeah, way to go, Senator Marshall. And then Senator Olvera is emailing Senator McGarry this week about some feedback that she got just based on like meal plan services and things like that, and also just promoting UCA services that we have going on. She's gonna kill the social media game. And then Senator Dykes, sorry, this is very long. She has contacted the Conway Canine Companions program about volunteering their therapy dogs, hopefully around midterms, and then also again in finals week. A goal was to have them more than once a semester, so she's tackling that. And also she's going to create a proposal. We have to kind of look at this a little bit more, but looking at what it would be to get food trucks on our campus, so kind of like what hoops we would need to jump through with that, and then hopefully contacting local businesses to see if they would be willing to do that if Airmark cooperates. We'll see how that goes. And she's also working on the purple caps and gowns, so hopefully that'll be a reality one day. And then I am working on getting together our committee entirety, but I'm kind of looking at this, a luncheon for President Davis during his investiture week. So it will be on October 25th, but we don't have a location or time. So updates to come, but it's going very well. And we're also going to look more towards like short-term goals for our committee, because everything that we're doing right now is like very long-winded, like the whole year kind of stuff. So we're going to start looking at little projects that we can do throughout the semester. So that's all I know.
Are there any questions for Senator Miller? Up next, Housing and Food, Senator McGarry.
Okay, so we met this morning with Jim Neighbors, and we went over a few things with him. One thing was that we're looking into getting recyclable to-go boxes, cafeteria, and he's looking into that. Larger portion sizes in the to-go boxes, sauteed mushrooms with Quiznos, an Apple Wallet sort of thing for dining dollars. So like say you forget your fish card, yeah. You could like have like an app or something, maybe you could like still buy food. Senator Miller actually can food trucks as well. Megan Bennett, and then community person, maybe
Sweet, yeah.
do that for us too. More food in cafeteria, reaching out to him. You mentioned TVs in cafeteria. They currently are not playing anything, so like wondering why that is. There's a contract, and it's basically people playing TV, so that's quite, yeah. I also talked about adding fresh spinach and mushrooms into the omelet station, and then I think during the retreat we talked about shifting cafeteria hours. The reason why I talked about with Jim, and he's thinking maybe if we did this, if people wouldn't necessarily come later in the night, so it wouldn't be like penalize my students. So at least you know. We're still looking at individual housing and 24/7 desk service at dorms. Next summer, Starbucks will be renovated. There's the room that's like right next to Starbucks, I don't know it is basically a studio lab right now. They're wanting to add that onto Starbucks. And right now, if you like walk through the library, you don't cut through Starbucks. They're thinking of making like another hallway, so you could like walk through that and like cut through. Jim Neighbors looking into putting monitors into the cafeteria that talk about nutrition. And then next week, we are wanting to go to Hendrix and do some research for that.
Are there any questions for Senator McGarry? Okay. Up next, Internal Affairs, Senator Morrison.
Okay, this week my committee met at 4:30 on Wednesdays in the Student Center. And we went over bylaw B for grammar, consistency, and structure, and we found a lot of things to fix in there. And then we worked on adding legislation about the Senate live stream. So we're going to finish that up and hopefully have a previous notice soon. And then if you want our committee to help you with anything, or you have something in the Constitution you want to change, just let me know. Email it to me before Wednesday so we can talk about it at our meeting. That's it.
Are there any questions for Senator Morrison? Okay. Outreach, Senator Stock.
So my committee met on Wednesday as well, and for this meeting we kind of did a little walk around campus to see what our recycling options looked like on the outside of buildings. And so in our little walk we found that there are a lot of recycle bins and the pair of them, recycling and trash. There are a lot of them, but they are all right next to the student center. So we're going to try to contact Larry Lawrence and see if that's like a physical plan thing that we can, maybe not have to, use money to pay for more recycling, but just kind of spreading the love that we already have, since there's like 15 of them right outside the student center and then nowhere else. Nowhere else. Other than that, Pauline is still going to work on the bike share program, and Stevie and Lauren are working on the DAC resolution still. And then we're brainstorming ideas to use with the Coke money. I think that's all I have.
Awesome. Are there any questions for Senator Stark? Okay. Up next, safety. Senator Askew.
All right, so not just a ton going on right now. A lot of our goals are kind of going through Larry Lawrence right now, still waiting on responses from him. We are in communication with disability services to kind of see about specifically what disability, handicap accessibility issues we have on campus so we can work towards addressing those. And also, as President Walu mentioned earlier, Bear Patrol is an RSO now. And last night was our first night. It went very well. A lot of students used it, and I just wanted to point out that if we ever have Senate go past 7, because 7 is when we start each night, that instead of walking back to your dorm or car in the dark, you can just call Bear Patrol and they'll pick you up.
Are there any questions for Senator Askew? And Senator Autry.
What's the phone number it's called?
I think it's 311. There we go.
Parker knows it by heart.
311.
311.
1.
450.
Okay.
1.
Are there any other questions for Senator Askew?
That's the police.
No. Okay. I just wanted to commend you for all your hard work on that. That's an idea that started from the safety committee last year, and so he's been working really, really hard to get this project up and running. So just an example of what can happen from SGA. So thank you for that. Up next, student resources. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, Senator Griffin.
Where does it run just around, like,
It runs anywhere on campus and the nearby apartment complexes, but not Bear Village, because we can't cross state line.
Are there any other questions for Senator Askew? Okay. Oh,
I'll just ask them.
okay. Student resources, Senator Burton.
Yes, so I'm here filling in for Senator Collins, but the Student Resources Committee met on Thursday at 8:45 a.m. We had a little icebreaker, talked about our strengths and weaknesses, and then Senator Collins gave us our assignments this year. And so we have Senator Ramirez working on beefing up the Bear Facts days, so getting more people involved with that, I suppose. Senator Abbott in charge of the Richard Hammond projects. Got a bunch of things up our sleeve with him. Senator Griffin on, I think, what we're calling the final decision. I'm not sure what that is. It's something about pairing students with other students on a Bear Facts Day to kind of get more familiar with the campus. Senator Colmer on bear cards, perhaps looking into making one free per year. Don't know how that's going to pan out. And then Senator Collins is working on Bear Essential boxes. So if you've ever seen at a gas station or like on the side of the road somewhere, a box that just has a bunch of food and supplies that are like non-perishable, we're going to try to get that for students on campus that don't have access to money, resources to buy things at the C-store, or can't go at the designated time to go to the food pantry, something of that nature. She's looking into prices and locations. And then I'm